I was like, oh my God, that looks just like Howie. Wow.
Yeah, I've
Same
got like
name.
100 of them. They're like, "Is this your cousin?" I'm like, "No, it's not. I don't know who that is."
Howie Dewey doesn't have a Howie Dewey do it cousin.
Nah,
Yeah, because
nah.
the name is different, obviously.
Dewitt. I don't even get it, but I'm people are like, "Hey, this is
This is
funny."
Howie Dewey.
Cash Daddies is for entertainment purposes only. You'd be an idiot to listen to anything these degenerates say. Invest at your own risk, do research, but seriously don't listen to these ass clowns. Now enjoy Cash Daddies.
Welcome to Cash Daddies. We're banking fatties. That's right. Back in the saddle again with your favorite amigos. Join me as always. Looking good, looking alive, still with us, still kicking. Sweet Howie Dewey, everybody. How are you? Howie Dewey. Bum, bum, bum,
What's
bum,
going
bum.
on, Sam and Johnny?
Oh,
What's
are
up?
you excited about St. John's or what?
Dude, everybody in New York City is excited about St. John's. That's the biggest news in 20-something years. I mean, you got basically the Godfather coming in.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Rick Pitino's great. And real quick, joints ones too. Places unknown. What go from unknown places unknown? What they used to say about the wrestlers?
Parts unknown.
Parts unknown, places unknown. Sweet. Yo, Johnny, your favorite. Jay Nice, Johnny Woodard. Sorry for butchering that, bro. That was a big butcher right
It's
there.
all good.
Sorry.
It's all good, buddy.
Sorry.
How's it going? I'm excited about Patino too, by the way. I just love him going back to the old Big East, and getting stuck in. He signed a 6-year deal. He's 70 years old, signed a 6-year deal. Good for him,
bro.
Yeah.
Good for him.
It's
I love
big.
it.
It's big. And you got Ed Cooley from Providence heading over to Georgetown, the Big East.
I saw that.
Big East, who got 5 teams in the tournament this year. 3 of them are still alive, and they're looking solid.
No, I'm with you, dude. And people
Big
love
East
when
is
we
back.
talk sports on this podcast, by the way.
Yeah.
People love it. Have you been making any money in the tournament, though, Howie? I know you and Tommy G have been doing some odds and predictions and all that stuff.
Yeah, I just got, I picked Connecticut to win it all. That's all. I got them winning.
I like them. They're silent. They got very little play this year. I like UCLA. Here's my choices: UCLA or anybody in the Big East. That's my pick.
Yeah, that's good.
That's what I'd like. We got
Good.
UCLA's got a hard game. Obviously. Anyways, let's move on. How was your week, guys?
It's as far as the market goes, we're being patient as shit, and I really wanted to get through today. Today's the day, we just wanted the chairman to come out, raise those interest rates 25 basis points. Half the people on CNBC, which I've been writing all week, please don't listen to fucking CNBC. I've never seen a bigger bunch of just dumb and jackasses in my fucking life. Everything these guys say, the opposite usually happens. But they're like, no, he's not going to touch it. The banks are, yeah, he's going to touch it. He doesn't give a fuck about the banks. He's trying to bring down inflation. So he raised them 25 basis points. And I wrote this morning, I said I felt the market would sell off. It did. We got a nice sell off this afternoon. The only mistake I made, Sam, was this morning. I'm looking at
today.
Coinbase.
The only mistake you made today.
Today.
Okay, go.
Looking at Coinbase. Coinbase is up to 81, 82. I don't like it.
Really?
Yeah, it jumped up to 81.82 today. And I'm looking at it, and it's like 3:30. Mark's going to close 30 minutes. And I'm like, I need to put this out right now. We need to buy puts on this piece of shit because it's hit its resistance level. And I didn't do it. I said, we'll be okay. We'll be okay tomorrow. What happens at 4:01? The fucking SEC comes out. And I mean, they slap Coinbase on the wrist. They give them a Wells report, which basically says you're fucked. You're doing some shady shit. You're doing some illegal stuff. We're all over your ass. You're gonna pay some sort of fine. And what's the fuck? In the after hours, the stock goes from 82 down to like 67. Would have made a killing. I mean, that happens. It happens sometimes.
That's the worst.
So your thought is Coinbase is done.
I think they're going to take a hit. Short term, yeah. We got to find out what this Wells report entails, because once this news started coming out, Bitcoin went from
it hit crypto. Bitcoin was at like 28.6, 28.8, something like that, and just nosedived right after.
Dropped 2,000 now? 10 minutes. I mean,
what is it at now? I'm checking right now. Sam, Bitcoin is at 27.2 now. It's still way up from what it's been over the past couple months, but it's it's down to 27.2.
So this is going to be interesting on Coinbase, because it had been flying. A lot of these things, I'm a big technical guy. I don't think that's everything. I always say it's 50%. But I looked at GME today, and you know what? I've been shitting on GME for 2 years, guys. You guys know this. And, the stock's gone from 60 down to like 17. They actually came out for the first time in a couple of years. They actually beat earnings. They beat earnings by just cutting every cost you can cut, which is good. They came out the positive first quarter, and I don't know how many. And the stock shot from, I think, 16 up to 24. Problem was it really, technically, it needed to finish above 23.80, 23.83, and it didn't. So we got to watch GME and see if it stays up or if it goes back to 20 or below. But, if you hold GME and you've been getting crushed on it, that was good news today. I will say that. So
what is GME selling, by the way? What is GME's product?
God, Johnny, you know that, man. Johnny, you know that more than anyone.
That's a meme stock, dude. That's GameStop.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. I mean, it's just, don't get me wrong, dude. I still will always talk about, listen to me. The early days of crypto, which is kind of like meme stocks, was the greatest time ever. It's like the dark period at the Comedy Store where like everybody thinks it was a miserable time, and it was the greatest time ever. Just running and gunning, buying and selling, good times, cocaine and bad decisions.
But GME actually makes a product. They bring in cash.
What's their product?
They make a product. It's gaming, right, Johnny?
Well, yeah, I mean, they sell games, and they've tried to, they've tried a number of other things, and none of them have really worked. But yeah, I think there's a role for, a brick and mortar games, reused game selling place in like a strip mall for a couple more years. There's that, but the horizon for physical games is no more than a decade at most, I would say. I think this current generation Xbox, they have one Xbox that has a disc, and then they have another one that's cheaper that has no disc, no optical, everything's download. PlayStation this generation has a disc. Next generation, there will be no discs in these game systems, and that's most of the business they do at their store. They're done after that. It's over.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you know what they're doing now? You know what they're doing now? Sam, you'll love this. I bought my nephew a game the other day, a Nintendo Switch game, which is a little cartridge, and I got it home, and all that's inside of it is a piece of paper with a code to download the game. Isn't that hilarious? Like, what are we doing? Why would
that almost seems like a game being played on somebody, right? Like, or like a movie where they try to get a treasure, and then they finally get the treasure and they open it and it's just a piece of paper.
Yeah, it's a download slip. It's a code to download the game.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's wild. So I mean, it was positive. It didn't quite finish where I think it needed to. I think it looks like it could retract, but it's something we got to watch. I mean,
Johnny, what if time travelers come back to get the old games? Because isn't that every time you hear something from a coast to coast, it's some guy from the future that is here to figure out what the fuck happened because there's no paper records. And maybe just like we're trying to get the earliest version of Dig Dug.
Yeah. That's entirely possible. Yeah.
That's it. With AI, according to what I'm reading, with AI, in 20 years, nobody's going to die. They're just going to live forever. I don't fucking understand that. I don't understand any of it, but this.
Yeah, but this would suck if we all live forever in our current bodies and then these young people get to be young forever. Like, that would suck. We should be able to pick when we want to be forever.
With my luck, I'll be 81, and they'll say, "We got great news, Howie, man. You're gonna get it. You get to live forever with your shriveled up dick and fucking flabby ass and fucking 13-year-old girl tits. You get to live the rest of your life, man. How do you like that?
How much would that suck?
I mean,
like, no, dude, I want to be old school. Call it a day. This sucks.
yeah, that would just, you're going to have some aches and pains every morning. Your fucking joints are going to hurt. You're going to need 17 Viagra to get yourself going. But hey, you get to do that every day for life, forever.
So Howie, I want to
sign me up. Sign me up.
Yeah, because you want it of you right now, Johnny. You're not even 40 yet.
That's right.
Yeah, Johnny's where it's at.
Howie, if you go back to any age, what would you be? What would it be?
I would say.
Okay, here two choices. First one is you can go back with the knowledge you have now, and then the other one is you just go back.
I have a quick question. Are you saying you're going back also in time? Like if he goes to like 20, he has to go back to the 70s or whatever?
Oh, he goes to today. He's that age today.
Got it.
All right, I would not want to go back at between the ages of 16 and 23, not with cell phones, because I would be doing life. I'd be doing 20-year stretch.
Okay. All right. Okay, pedophile. Anyway.
No, not with a fucking phone. Hell no. Oh my God.
I think if I could have the knowledge of today, 25 is a good age to go back to.
I'd say 32, 33. 32, 33. I think that's
you're going with the knowledge you have today. Now, if you're just going with no knowledge, 30s, early 30s would be great.
Oh man, like if you have the knowledge today, you could go back to 25. You'd be a millionaire. There's no doubt. With the mistakes, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to do these three things.
Yeah.
You can keep it simple too. I'm just going to do these three things. If I see a girl like that coming at me, I'm just going to fucking run.
Yeah.
I'm taking off.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Fed move, Howie? 25 basis points. What do you think?
So what that means?
What does 25 basis points mean?
0.25%.
Basically, the Fed funds rate affects all the other rates. It affects you want to buy a house, it affects your mortgage rate. You're going to pay more. You got a student loan, your monthly payment, it's going to be more. You want to finance a car, your monthly payment, it's going to be more. Credit cards. You're going to get your credit card statement in the mail. Instead of $450, it may be $525 because it affects everything. What it does, they're raising these rates because they want to slow the economy. They want people to start saving. They don't want us out just fucking buying everything, lighting everything up. And that's why they're raising rates. They may raise one more time, but the good news about this is that unemployment over the next 6 months will probably pick up quite a bit. They'll probably raise one more time, and that'll be it. And then they'll start lowering rates. And I think if we can stay out of a hardcore recession, we're going to go into a recession. There's no doubt we're going to go into a recession. Hopefully it's not horrible. But I think as far as the market goes, we still bank fatties. Absolutely.
Now, a lot of stuff going on. Love to hear the political talk from Howie. Putin, Xi Jinping getting together, signing a deal with Iran, bringing in all these other, basically the whole axis of evil group, getting the band back together. And basically forming a new economic and military force together. What is that going to do to America? I got to make coffee. I'm listening.
I don't think it's going to do a whole hell of a lot. Look at Russia. Russia's basically a third world country. They don't export shit. I mean, China, we get everything from China and vice versa. So I don't think I don't think it's going to have a whole hell of a lot to do with it, with anything. I mean, look, this war has been going on for how long? I mean, eventually we plan on, I mean, we all think Russia's going to win something. I mean, I don't think Ukraine's going to end up winning.
Yeah. I mean, there's no chance that Ukraine goes back to exactly the way it was, the borders before. They're going to have to, if they want that thing to end, they're going to have to give Putin enough to save face at the least, or he's just going to grind them to dust because he can afford to do that.
But this is hurting Russia big time.
Dude, Ukraine looks stupid. They're in deep shit. Ukraine is in deep shit. They're hemorrhaging people, and
the one thing they're not hemorrhaging though is money. We're paying for the whole thing. So
but dude, Russia and China about to work together. China.
Well, where are you getting that from? Because the only thing I saw, you're talking about those joint military drills they were doing. Is that what you're talking about, Sam? Where they had like Iran, Russia, and China doing military drills.
China wants to give they might give Russia more weapons.
No, that's people think that they haven't done anything yet. I mean, everything you read is China's coming in to make peace between the two.
Well, I did see that. I did see that China went into like Saudi Arabia and Iran and brokered a treaty or something like that.
How crazy is that?
They're thinking that China might go in. Well, that now they're thinking they might go into Ukraine and try to broker peace in Ukraine, which would be fascinating.
Yeah, it would be.
And then I mean, like listen, it's not the U.S. It's the military-industrial complex. Nobody in America wants this war. Nobody wants to. Listen, we talk about this all the time here. They're always like, oh my God, dude, the empire's over. Good. I'm tired of imperialism. I'm tired of us going in there and just stealing people's resources. I'm over it, dude. Suck it.
Well, I mean, look, man, I'm going to be honest with you. Before this war started, I had heard of Ukraine because they had a couple good hoop players. They had really good boxers. That's what I knew of the Ukraine. I mean, we don't get resources from the Ukraine. And it's kind of like, look, it's really none of our business. It is what it is. It's definitely not affecting the markets. If anything, it's pissing me off more because according to everything, all the research I had, was like, hey, natural gas is going to go through the roof because, Russia's cutting it off. We got to ship more gas over, which we are. But thanks to global warming or whatever, it was like 70 degrees every day this winter.
It was a weird winter for sure.
Yeah, natural gas just hasn't bounced away without. I mean, I think it's going to go up and we'll make money on it, but shit, it's gone way down in price and nobody saw that coming. So Sam, I don't think overall this shit's going to have an effect really on anything. You look at China. China can't dick around right now. They're trying to get their own economy pumping again. I mean, they set themselves back years with the whole shutdown situation. So, I don't think politically it's a big thing. I really don't.
That's another, that's an argument for us, by the way, maintain what we've done with Russia. Another argument for that being a huge mistake, like isolating them, because it's the main reason China is not more antagonistic with us now. It's because we both need each other. Both the countries need each other economically. And if we establish that same kind of relationship with Russia, I don't even think, they'd be doing the kind of shit they are now. So it's always a mistake.
Who knows how much of a whack job Putin is, but you're right. We isolate the shit out of him. And I don't know. We'll see what happens here. But here's the most important thing. Look, this is why you listen to Cash Daddies, people. I'm about to give you the most simplest, basic, important advice that I could possibly give any human being out there. I mean,
here we go. Okay.
How old are you when you get a bank account? You're in what, 8th, 9th, 10th grade, somebody your birthday.
9th, 8th grade.
That's how it used to be. Not anymore.
You throw some money in your account, you get a checking account. Today it's a debit card, whatever. So this is interesting. I want to reiterate how banks are there to fuck all of us. And that's what they do. And I just came about this with my girlfriend shit. She's like, I got this savings account at Chase. And she goes, what are you getting in your Fidelity? I went over and showed her the money market fund of Fidelity. I don't have to buy stocks. I don't have to buy shit. I just keep it there. paying about 5%. You know what the Chase bank
Really?
account, savings account is paying?
What?
Take a look, Sam. It's paying 0.045, not even a half basis point. So the difference between having your savings money in a bank versus like Charlie Schwab, a Fidelity, any market money fund, because they take the money market funds and they invest in what? They invest in U.S. Treasuries, which are paying like fucking the 2 years are paying like 4.5%, 5% right now.
But isn't that what just got the Silicon Valley Bank in trouble?
Absolutely. Because they never made adjustments. they were going out 10 years, getting 1.5%, and they never made adjustments and switched over. In the 2 years, the 2 and 5 years are paying 4.5%, 5% right now. So yeah, it's a huge reason that they got screwed over because they had no managing the risk. Buddy. But I'm telling you, if you have a bank account out there, check and see what your local bank or whatever the hell bank you use, check and see what your interest yielding account is getting. And if it's less than 4%, 4.5%, you need to move it. Because
so let's say you got like $100,000 in your savings account. How much of that do you think you should move to one of these accounts?
I'd move the whole fucking thing.
Hold on. So, and what's the name of the type of account you want to move it to?
A money market fund. Look, these savings accounts are bullshit because here's what they do, Sam. They're going to take your $100,000 and they're going to loan it out to some schlep rock at what? 7.5%, 8%?
Yeah.
While they're getting 8% from this guy for his small business loan, his car loan, whatever, they're going to give you less than 1% on your savings account.
Nothing.
No, nothing. Move it to
Howie, so now some banks offer money market funds, but I've never seen one that offers anything close to what you're saying there, like through a bank. What? So you have to have it with what, like a brokerage or something? Is that what you're saying?
And how hard is it to pull your money out if you need to?
It takes seconds.
Okay, so it's not something you have to leave permanently in there.
You can open up a Fidelity. Say, I want to open up a Fidelity investment account. They'll say, okay, great. They'll give you a debit card. They'll give you Fidelity, that little green and white debit card. You can take the whole thing out in 2 seconds if you want to.
Right on.
Just like a bank. But here's the difference. Yeah. Think about this. Over the course of 365 days, that's $5,000 you just made that you wouldn't if you kept it in the bank. $5,000.
I'm gonna be taking you up on this idea.
And they're the same, and it's the same SIPC backing, same to it. If let's say Fidelity goes under, you're still protected up to $250,000. Doesn't matter.
All
same
right.
as the bank. Look, that's why anyone check your bank. Make sure you are in a money market account, getting at least 4.25%, 4.5% right now, because that's what they're all yielding. That's a huge difference. Even on a savings account with $50,000, $2,500. That's $2,500 at the end of the year you can put in your back pocket that you wouldn't have. It's not bad.
Not bad at all, bud. We're gonna be talking.
And by the way, last week was the largest influx of, or I would say outflow of money from these savings accounts and banks into these money market funds in the history. Really? I want to say billions went in to these money market funds last week. So, it's something to think about. Because
my bank's money market only offers 3.6. Would you say that's not good enough, Howie?
I mean, that's not bad, but most of them are 4.5, 5.
That's what I need. I need 4.5, 5. Give me 4.5, 5 right now.
I need 4.5, 5 too. 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, 9, 9, 10, 10, 10. So
most of them are.
All right. So, and you think the best is Fidelity?
It's excellent.
All right. Do I have to go online and do it? Or is there a Fidelity place I can go?
Go right online, do it. Open up an account online. And if you want to keep some money in your Chase, your Citigroup, or your Bank of America, you want to keep a few bucks there, go ahead. You can move money back and forth via your laptop, via your phone.
Ooh, Woo!
But
I'm excited.
to me,
I just
5%,
can't hide it.
5% makes a lot more sense than point. And it's
I have
amazing.
to figure out how to move so much big chunks electronically. They usually don't let you.
I'll see if I can get a referral link for Fidelity and put it in the description.
Yeah,
if I can find it.
you can.
Do it. If you have an account already, just send me a referral link, Howie, and I'll put it in the
Send me a
description.
referral link.
I'll do that. I will do that.
Referral link.
Right on.
Real quick, Howie. Real quick. Facebook letting a lot of employees go. You seem to think it is good. This is a good thing. A lot of people are talking about how this means they're not doing the business that they normally do and that they're cutting costs to help raise.
Can I say one thing before you get into that? Another warning sign is that I got a notification on Instagram that they have followed in Twitter's footsteps, and they're now going to allow people to pay for verification. But with them, you have to send them your ID, like a picture of it, and then you get verified.
A low social credit score,
and you have to pay for it, which is just what Twitter
ridiculous. Look, all I know is this: is that when that news came out, they laid off like another, I don't know, 20, 30, 40,000 people. Like,
it's crazy.
The goddamn stock was at like 179. And by the way, if you look at Howie's portfolio from January 2nd of this year.
Now, who's Howie? You? Are you referring to yourself in third person like a crazy
person? Howie Dewey, yeah.
Howie be doing what Howie wants to do, and you know Howie ain't playing around.
So if you did, one of my biggest holdings at that time, I think we bought Meta at like 129. And Sam sent me a video, some guy on YouTube saying, they're in trouble. When they were in trouble, the stock was at 179. It was at 203 today. Look, the problem with this company, and I don't like Zuckerberg, that guy's the worst in the world. But this company has so much fucking cash. And why do you think he's laying off all these people? To save more cash. So that's
isn't that a sign that there isn't as much growth as they would help?
I think that's a valid point. Yeah, maybe they aren't growing as much. But the company's got so much goddamn cash, and they got upgraded by somebody again today. It's probably a 200.
Somebody, I think it was Bob on the corner slinging cigarettes.
It might have been, but look, stock's up like 60% from New Year's Day. So what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do, Howie? You're the best, guys. Howie, what's your pick? Are we doing picks now? No, we're going to guess, right?
We got a guess now. Yeah.
All right, let's go to the guess, man. Let's do it. All right, guys, I want to tell you about our friends over there at Copy My Crypto and our good friend James McMahon, everybody. That's right. Guys, we've seen so many people make ridiculous money from crypto, but did you know it's easy for you to do the same? The Copy My Crypto membership site shows you the coins that YouTuber James McMahon personally holds and allows you to copy them. It's like having a big brother who knows what he's doing. You don't need to know a thing about crypto or how to invest, as you simply do as he does. So let me tell you more about James. He runs Crypto with James YouTube channel, which despite heavy censorship has over 26,000 subscribers. Since March 2020, he's told his viewers to buy 26 crypto coins. Had you put $100 into each, it went on to be worth $123,000. Of the 26 coins, his top pick of the year, called Phantom, went up 692 times from when he said. That's one call. That one call alone has retired a number of people, including guys in their 20s and 30s. Remember, this is public knowledge. You can go to YouTube and verify this yourself. If you'd like to join the 2,800 members who copy James, then stop what you're doing and head over to copymycrypto.com/Sam. That's copymycrypto.com/Sam. That's SAM. You'll find the proof of everything we've said, but my listeners get full access for just $1. Once again, that's copymycrypto.com/Sam. The recession is here, guys. You can suffer like everyone else or choose to thrive. James is the real deal. Go visit the site now. All right, so let's welcome our guest here. He is a best-selling author, a publishing consultant for the media. It's a really very excited to have him. Please welcome Marco Salinas. How are you, Marco?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
So, Marco, when I was a kid, anytime anyone would bring up green eggs and ham, because my name's Sam, it would drive me nuts. Does Marco Polo drive you crazy?
It drives me nuts, man.
And I'm sorry to bring it up. I just had to know if anyone feels my pain too.
I feel it very much so.
Marco, thanks for coming on Cash Daddies. We're very honored that you would join us. Marco, for our listeners who may not be familiar with you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where they can find you?
Sure. A little bit about myself. So I've been self-employed, small business owner officially since 2010. I had a financial services business that I kicked off shortly after the big, what we called, I guess, the Great Recession back then. And been self-employed ever since and loving every minute of it, all the highs and the lows and the ups and the downs. But I guess you could say that as I was running that financial business, the thing that always stood out to me the most was the marketing. I loved the marketing aspect of it. That was always kind of like my dessert. And so I kind of tended to spend more time in that arena. I started diving a little bit deeper into it, started learning more about it. And I just kind of ended up making that eventually making that my full-time thing. So now that's what I'm doing. I'm helping businesses with marketing, specifically in the publishing and media space, or I guess you could say in that little corner of it, or that little niche. My website is expertpublishing.associates if anybody is interested in learning more.
Awesome. So you're into content marketing and all that. Exactly what is content marketing?
So content marketing is somewhat back to your reference of green eggs and ham. At the end of the day, it's information. A lot of times, in our case, it's in the form of a book. And the reason why I love messing around with books is because when I was in elementary school, we had this thing that we called the book fair. And, it was a big important day. It was a special day. You'd take you out of class. You'd go to the library. They had all the books in there. It smelled amazing when you walked in, like all the little paperback book smell. I always bought a Lambo poster. That's where I fell in love with Lambo, and you'd walk out of there, and depending on how generous your mom was that morning, maybe you were a book baller that day, maybe you weren't, but a lot of times I'd come out of there 2-3 books and a Lambo poster, and my friends were like, dang, man. And so that was where I started my love for books and content. And so now we take that strategy, we give it to the business owner, we allow them to pass out a book. And what I find is that people still hold the book in high value. They hold it in high regard. It's a valuable asset. I don't know about you guys, but like I have a hard time throwing books away. Like if I get to a point where like, all right, I don't really need that book anymore. Usually what I do is I give it to someone else. I pass it along. I might, worst case scenario, I might donate it. Unless, the person whose face is on the cover I absolutely despise, I'm not going to throw that book away, right? And so what we found is that these books have long shelf life. People love to touch them, hold them, flip them, sniff them, all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of inherent value in a physical, tangible book. And so when you give that to someone, people understand, all right, there's value in this thing. Typically I would have to pay for this. You're giving it to me. So there's step number one. Thank you. What do I owe you back in return? Well, smart marketers will ask for their information. Why don't you give me your name and your phone number and your email, maybe even your address, in exchange for this book, for this content. And that's why content marketing is so important, because it's valuable. People want to give something back.
I get you. And there's a lot to that. Everybody here on this show is a comedian. Johnny's still an open micer, but he's trying. And we're all learning how to market ourselves more. And it's very interesting how how you could manipulate, maybe not the word, but generate maybe high-end, in my mind, high-end email lists by offering them something in exchange for their emails. And, Howie's got a new special. It's about to drop. When's that dropping, Howie?
Next week.
Next week. Howie's got a new special.
I got to send it to you. You got to look it over, pal.
Okay, I got to watch it. But the point is, like, I'm dealing with that as well. Like, I'm going to shoot special, and I need to figure out new and exciting ways to get people to not only watch it, but I really would. It's very interesting you brought this up, that giving it away for free. Now, I'm not saying you should give away a book for free unless there's something else you want, which could be an email or subscriber to your website or something like that. That's very interesting to me. That's a really good idea. Like, maybe on my next special, be like, I'm giving away this special for free to anybody who signs up to my email list, and I'm going to blast it to you before anyone gets to see it on YouTube. You get a week before everybody else. You get all the fucking weird jokes I want to do, and that's how we kind of want to make it happen. So I think that's interesting. Now, how does this approach you have lead to straight cash, homie? How does this lead into making money and paying bills and all that stuff?
Yeah, that's an amazing question, Sam. And so the answer to that, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, I think that the solution is that the money is in the list. The money is in the list. So when you have access to a list of people that are interested in you and what you have to offer, and you've got a decent sized little list, and you go ahead and send something out there that's valuable that they're interested in, and they end up being willing or open to spending money on said service, product, offering, DVD, whatever that might be, right? I'm old school. Whatever that is, that's where the money is at. And
you go to GameStop.
So wait, let me stop real quick. So are you basically selling the lead lists?
No, I'm selling the methods to organically create a list.
And I love
because there still is. There's so much money in what you're talking about. Like, if I'm a financial advisor, first, my biggest problem is, how do I get clients? Well, we used to purchase these lists. You purchased 5,000, 10,000 leads. These leads were pre-vetted. In other words, the people we were calling, we didn't have to look them up. We got the list, and we knew this person had at least $1 million. We didn't know what they did. Sometimes it would give it away if we saw that they were a lawyer or an MD, a doctor. But these lists were so valuable because these lists are money. They basically had cash written all over them. So you had to really refine your sales skills to not screw up a good lead.
Sure.
What I like that Marco's talking about here is basically something within the entertainment business that's kind of really inspired people, which is called 1,000 True Fans. Have you ever heard of this, Marco?
I've heard of it. Sounds like something that I'm familiar with. Yeah.
Okay. 1,000 True Fans is this thing that this band came up with, and it is that all you need to do is get 1,000 true fans to give you $100 a year. And if you get that to happen, you're making $100,000 a year. Now think about what $100 a year is. That is less than $10 a month. That could be a subscription. That could be a t-shirt. That could be come to see your live show. That could be anything that you want. Buying your email, your Substack, your Patreon, your Rockfin, whatever you're selling. It's only one purchase a month. $100 a month, a year is very simple. It sounds like crazy, but it's not. Even in crazy economic time, anything that is $9 is a deal in this world. So that, I think it's very important. And I totally agree with you on, like, if you can get a murder list so people can be on your list and find out where you're going to be, what you're selling, when your book's dropping, when your album's dropping. That's real power.
Have you guys, let me ask you guys a quick question. You guys ever heard this phrase, let's ride a swimming pool?
Let's ride a swimming pool?
Let's write, as in write, WRITE. You ever heard that?
No.
Do you know who said that?
No.
This guy's name is Paul McCartney.
Heard of him.
Paul McCartney, one of the Beatles, is famous for saying to John Lennon, let's ride a swimming pool. And what he meant by that was that these guys had this loyal following. Essentially, you could say they had this list, right? They had this fan base. And anytime they wanted another, fill in the slot here, new house, new swimming pool, whatever, they would go and write a song. You write the song, you put it out to your list instantly consumes it, money in the bank, turn around, buy a swimming pool. Now that's what building a proper list and having, raving fans that are interested in the things that you're offering. Now that's what that looks like in total perfection, right? But we can still aspire to that. We can still follow that model. We can follow that concept. We're not going to follow it exactly like the Beatles did, but we can still build out carve out a little niche within our world with a list that's interested in our services, our products, and our offerings. And it may not be a swimming pool, but what if it's 1 month's rent? You know what I mean? I'll take that.
For sure.
So that's how you build this. You build this audience of people that are interested in what you have, typically by selling or giving away certain things of value in exchange for their information. And then you start offering things to that same list. You stay in front of them. They become more loyal. They become more faithful, and they continue to buy the things that you have.
That's sounds like some solid target marketing.
I love that. I think
Exactly.
it's a good idea. So I want to ask you a question about what is platform networking?
Yeah, platform networking is very similar to what we're doing right now. So platform networking would be like a podcast. So you're using your platform, your podcast, to essentially network with new people like me. I've never met you prior to this podcast. We're getting to know each other right here, right? We're making friends. You're expanding your audience. You're expanding your network. You could go to one of these little networking parties and there's 30 people there, and and it's like, I might talk to 1 or 2 people, right? And you might exchange a business card and what have you. And I don't really think that those are necessarily the most productive usage of time. But when you start networking through a platform like a podcast, I think that's a very, very brilliant way to expand your network, meet new people, and let more and more people know about your products or services or your offerings.
I think social media is very interesting. It's very powerful. It's always funny when you see these like profiles with like, I've been around since 2010 and I have 180 followers. I'm like, literally on a platform of socializing, you've done none. So it's super interesting. But I do believe that I have major problems with a lot of the censorship that comes on with what's it called when we get everybody on one platform, Johnny? That's called
You mean like, are you talking about siloing again?
yeah, almost. Like I know there's another term, but it's like when they took the internet from very diverse to a couple networks. I have a real problem with that, with isolating all under one or two different websites. I think that's very dangerous. Consolidating. But I also believe it's a really great way to network. And like, again, I'm coming from a comedian's point of view, but sometimes I go to these comedy clubs and they're not doing their social media at all. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, there's so many open micers and there's so many young comics that would run your social media and blow it up. It's like back when I started comedy, I would have to go on a radio show and promote my thing and hope I got on Tonight Show, kind of like what you're saying, going to these networking dinners where you're going to meet 1 or 2 people, whereas instead of using like social media, Twitter, Instagram is really good when they're not censoring you. I guess got dinged for the dumbest thing, but it's a great way to get your product out there.
That's right. That's absolutely right. So you guys are using those platforms to spread the word and to network. And I think that's a better usage of your time, of your energy, of your resources, everything, than instead of going to these functions and meeting a couple of people with, a stick up their ass.
Okay, Howie's got to take off. Howie, thanks for staying around. Great job. We appreciate you. Johnny, I will finish up with Marco.
Good stuff, Marco. Loved it.
Appreciate you, buddy.
See ya.
Yeah. Marco, have you found because obviously who are your clientele that you tend to work with?
I work with small business owners, entrepreneurs, and primarily professional service providers. So that would be like, anything from a lawyer, chiropractor, all the way to plumber, HVAC, and everything kind of in between there. People that deal with a lot of face-to-face interactions and rely on referrals. And that's where a lot of times I put a book in their hand. I create a book for them, and then they give that book to their clients and they pass that out. That's real estate, that's mortgage, that's insurance, financial services, all that good stuff. Those are typically a good fit, as well as coaches and business coaches and consultants and things like that. Also very often benefit from having published material that helps to build their authority. That's a big part of what we do. We're positioning these people at a higher level, authority wise, in the mind of their prospect. So that way, if let's say I'm a lawyer and there's 100 other lawyers in my town, but there's only a handful of us that have written a book. There's only a handful of us that have our own podcast. There's only a handful of us that are getting featured on the news. You're going to differentiate pretty quickly. You're going to start to stand out from everybody else, and that's the goal with business.
So you're really into establishing a digital footprint out there to be an anchor to help bring eyeballs on your product.
That's a big part of it. Yeah. I mean, it is offline and online, but the online part of it is definitely vital. It's important. And we use kind of different types of PR. And again, these what I call authority building assets, these marketing assets that elevate your status, man, so that you're not like every other idiot that's running around out there.
All right. I like that idea. I talk about that a lot to these comedians out there that are trying to figure out a way to grow their brand, connect with more people to come buy tickets to their show. It's like YouTube is huge. I was just thinking, like, I have friends of mine, a buddy of mine, Scott Armstrong, who's been on the show before. He's talked about how he's trying to become a handyman. Like, he's doing his podcast and all that stuff, but he started doing handyman. He would find these platforms to put out, he put ads out. But I also I'm also thinking, like, if you're a handyman, why not show people your handiwork? Why not take a picture or video of things you've created, things you've done, post them on Instagram? Hey, man, this is a job I just did. Check this out. Or if you're someone who helps flip stuff, I have a good friend of mine, Sean Burns, who he renovates stuff. He'll find something in a junkyard or at a flea market, garage sale, take it and flip it. I tell him all day, shoot that, put it on YouTube, put it on Instagram. That's what people want to see. That will drive business to you. This is the greatest time ever for marketing. And if you're not into crazy stuff that these social media people don't want you to talk about, if you don't do that, there's a giant opportunity for you to get the word out about yourself.
Absolutely, man. Vitally important. Use the platforms, kind of the Gary V effect, right? And using those platforms, squeezing every little drop of juice out of them, and highlighting yourself, doing all kinds of different things. I mean, how many comedians have we seen where they started out just doing small gigs, and then somebody sees them on TikTok, someone sees them on YouTube, and the next thing you know, they've got a Netflix show. Yeah. You know what I mean? They they parlayed that basic media into something huge.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Now, what is your background in marketing and business, by the way?
Mine is primarily with this financial business that I had. I've been running for 13 years, primarily helping people to improve their finances, their debt, their student loan, and their credit situation. So I did that for 13 years. I guess you could say I cut my teeth in that arena. And so, again, reading, learning, going to seminars, doing all these things about marketing and sales, and then you turn around and you try it, and you implement it, and you see what works and you see what doesn't. And one of the things that I was fortunate to get turned on to pretty early in the game was the authority marketing stuff. So I was able to write a book, and I co-authored it with a guy that was kind of a big dog in the business space. He's like in the sales space. If you go to the bookstore, you'll see this guy's books there. And he and I partnered up. We produced a book on corporate credit and business credit and how to build credit for the name of your corporation, your LLC, and what have you. And I started noticing that after I would utilize that stuff, that it kind of flipped the script. Like I wasn't chasing the clients anymore. The more of this media and all this authority stuff that I started to get my hands on and get access to and be featured on, the more the clients were chasing me instead of me chasing them, And so I said, man, I like this a lot better. Who wouldn't, right? And so that's where I was hooked, man. That's where I was sold. And that's where I became a firm believer in this concept. And I said, you know what? I want to be able to help other business owners to achieve a similar result. And that's basically what I've been doing now.
Who do you subscribe to and respect the most?
My number one guy is Dan Kennedy.
Dan Kennedy. Who's Dan Kennedy?
Dan Kennedy is an OG, man. He is a what we call the godfather of direct response marketing. Now, you got to understand there's basically two different types of marketing. There's marketing that's more like a branding type of thing, like we see with Apple and Coca-Cola. They could just have a billboard with their logo on it, and that, they know that actually does something, right? The small business owner can't do that crazy shit. They've got to be able to track the results from any of this money that they're spending because, margins are thin, money budgets are thin when you're a small business. So you got to make sure that what you're doing, if you're putting money into it, actually gets a response. Like you're actually getting a client from the thing, or you're getting a lead from the thing. And that's what direct response marketing is. And that's what Dan Kennedy is all about. And so Dan Kennedy is my top dog. I've learned primarily from him and his methods. And his whole mantra is no bullshit. And that's what I love, man. I just like straightforward stuff. Don't beat around the bush. Tell me like it is. And F your feelings, that kind of thing. Let's just get shit done, right? And so Dan Kennedy is absolutely my top dog. I like Gary Vee for more of the digital stuff and more of the online stuff, because I think the way he's doing things and the messages and the way that he presents it resonates with a lot of people, man. And I really like the way he's doing that. And so there's a lot of people out there, but those are a couple of my favorites. Those are the ones that I spend a lot of time on.
People should definitely check those out. Couple more questions for you. How can you help businesses grow?
I primarily help businesses grow by helping them to create marketing assets that have long shelf lives, like a book. I also do podcast production as well. I have a platform called Business Innovators Radio that I can help businesses to host their podcast on our platform. And this platform's been around for 9 years. It's got over 6,500 podcast episodes that have run through it. Google loves that page. Google loves the website. And so if you're hosting a podcast on there and you're trying to get business from other businesses, so that's the B2B play, right? And you're using that content networking, like you asked about earlier, this is a strategy that has proven to work in many different verticals, again, within the B2B space. So I can help to put a business on that platform, produce their podcast, strategize, figure out who you're going after, who you're trying to get business from, and then do what you guys are doing right here, man. You're networking with different people. You're working with different people. You're getting to know them. You're expanding your knowledge. And again, you're expanding those relationships, because if it weren't for this podcast, you and I would have very likely never met. We would have never talked. And so that's the beauty of this type of a strategy, because it works, man. So those are the kind of things that I can do and I can help business owners with.
All right. Well, final question. Where should somebody begin? Where is day one? We have a lot of young people listening to the show. They're building their businesses, they're building their savings, they're building their investment. Where should they start? What is day one?
So are you asking me, Sam, from the perspective of starting a business?
What I'm saying is, if I have a tiny business and I want to grow it, what would you be day one suggestions? Got you.
Yeah, so I think that obviously with access to all these platforms that we have available, I'm an 80s kid, right? So growing up, we're kind of like hybrid, right? When we were growing up, there was no Wi-Fi, there was no internet, but what did we have? We had Nintendo, we had Sega Genesis. But a lot of times if we wanted to have fun, we had to just go outside and jump on our bikes and have a good time. We didn't have access to all of these platforms like these younger kids do today. And so obviously now everyone is practically born with access to some type of a platform. So if I'm in the early stages, in the infancy of my business, I got to use those platforms. But what's the challenge? Standing out from the competition, right? So you've got to come up with ways to be creative, to be unique. And I think probably one of the biggest things that I think needs to happen is, to your point, Sam, earlier about, a lot of these platforms are also kind of sissies about things, right? They're always banning people. I don't like the way you said that. You hurt my feelings, that sort of thing, right? I would encourage people to go check out Scrub Daddy's TikTok page. You guys know who Scrub Daddy is, right?
No, who's Scrub Daddy?
He's not a rapper, but no. So there's a show that comes on television called Shark Tank, and one of the most successful pitches was the guy who went on there selling this basically souped up version of a sponge, of a cleaning sponge, and it's called the Scrub Daddy. And the QVC queen, her name is Lori Grenier, she bought into his pitch, and she's turned that into one of the most successful businesses that ever come through Shark Tank. I'm talking hundreds of millions of dollars off of that damn little sponge with a smiley face on it. But what I want young people to pay attention to is the way they do their marketing on TikTok. If you check out their TikTok page, they basically have no filter. And so they ruffle feathers, they piss people off, and that's always a good thing in business and in marketing. My mentor, Dan Kennedy, always says, if you haven't offended somebody by lunchtime, you're doing it wrong. You're not, going hard enough, basically.
I love
it.
And
so
dude.
You should aim to offend people. If your marketing is not being at least a little bit offensive, then, you're not getting anywhere. You're really not, because nobody pays attention to the safe, boring marketing anymore, man.
I couldn't agree more. Entertainment, television, live comedy, even Facebook and Instagram, they have it all wrong. They think because people are offended that they're angry. People want to feel something. They want to feel emotion. And you know what? Yeah, everyone likes to laugh, and yeah, everybody likes to smile, but people don't realize how addictive also getting a little angry and a little upset is. And, it kind of upsets you a little bit. It's like Howard Stern used to say, it wasn't his fans that made him, but his haters. So I totally agree with everything you're saying.
100%, man. Don't be afraid to go out there and ruffle some feathers and make a name for yourself. It's up to you as to how far you want to go. Is it possible to go too far with it? It might be, but that's what you got to figure out. But I think the moral of the story is you can't be boring. You can't put out boring material and expect that anybody's going to pay any attention to you. I don't think you have to necessarily be raunchy or just doing stupid, ridiculous things. You can still be creative. You can be a little abrasive. You can be a little bit different and, go against the grain, and you can still get a lot of attention. You get a few haters, but you get a lot of people that love you. But without the haters, man, tell you, without the haters, you ain't going to get anywhere. So embrace them, love them, and make sure you're spending enough time each day ruffling a few feathers. I think is vitally important.
Respect. Final thing. Where can they find you, Marco?
So my website, expertpublishing.associates, and you can also find me on LinkedIn. Look up Marco Salinas Publisher, and I'm on Twitter as well, Publisher _ Marco.
All right, perfect, man. Well, thank you so much, Marco, for joining us. This was a great interview. I think what you're saying is completely and utterly correct, very practical, and you don't have to be a comic to do this, man. Whatever you're selling, there's a market for it, and you have to market to that marketplace. And we appreciate you. Thank you so much. And yeah, great interview, dude. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all having me on.
Hey, everybody, I want to tell you about our friends at Mint Mobile. If saving more and spending less is one of your top goals for 2023, why are you still paying insane amounts of money every month for your phone bill? Switching to Mint Mobile is the easiest way to save this year. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you order from home and save a ton with phone plans starting at just $15 a month. Bam!
For people looking for extra savings this year, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. By going online only and eliminating the traditional costs of retail, Mint Mobile passes significant savings on to you. All plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and switch easily in minutes with eSIM. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month.
To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/cash. That's mintmobile.com/cash. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/cash. All right. Thank you so much. Great conversations. That's how we do it here at Cash Daddies. Okay? Cash Daddies. Howie, would you like to give Howie's picks?
I'm going to give Howie's pick, but listen, if I get one more.
What's Howie thinking about, Howie?
If somebody sends me one more DM of some ass clown named Howie Dewitt, I might just go post.
I saw that. It's funny. I saw that, Howie, from somebody who doesn't even know me or you on Facebook the other day. Just posted that Howie Dewitt thing, and I was like, oh my God, that looks just like Howie. Wow.
Yeah, I've got like 100 of them. They're like, is this your cousin? I'm like, no, it's not. I don't know who that is.
Howie Dewey doesn't have a Howie Dewey cousin.
Nah.
Yeah, because the name is different, obviously.
Dewitt. Some I don't even get it, but people are like, hey, this is
how we do.
Sorry, man, you drive me nuts. But look, I'm giving you a pick. I'm going to give you two picks. Banks have been smashed. Banks have gotten crushed over the past week. A lot of it in certain areas was panic selling. I'm giving one in Johnny's neck of the woods. I love this bank. It's a small local bank.
Whoa.
North Carolina. Johnny, have you ever used Truist Financial Corp, TFC?
No, but I'm well aware of them. Yeah, they're popular here for sure.
Listen, that's a solid bank. It's down from like 58 to 31.50. I love it right here. Also, there's rumors Michael Burry bought a bunch of it.
Yeah.
Truist Financial Corp, TFC. I like this company because they deal a lot more with, not just commercial loans, but any bank that deals with retail housing loans, normal Joe's trying to get a mortgage, they're not going to get crushed. Okay, they're not going to get crushed. They don't have to worry about like these Silicon Valley startup banks, dicking them over. So I like that company. I think TFC's at a good price right here. I don't think it's going anywhere.
Right on. All right. Sounds good.
Nice. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed this episode. My pick, gold and silver. Okay.
They're reaching highs right now. You got to get out of it soon, pal. They're reaching highs. Yeah.
Nah. Daddy's a rider.
Well, he's got it all physical. He can't just quickly sell it. He's got a bunch of physical gold.
You got to bring it down to the pawn shop and deal with people.
Nah, I'm not going down the pawn shop. Okay. Buy your gold, buy your silver. Chill Bill. Chill Bill. Chill Bill.
Stop
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and we'll talk to you soon. Hey, guys, subscribe. Leave us a 5-star review. Tell us how much you love us. 5 stars.
Patreon.com/Cash Daddies if you want to hear.
We're going to go over to the Patreon now and get nasty. Yeah. Real quick, guys. I'm going to be in Yuma, Arizona Friday night. Then I got Toronto. Then I have San Diego. Come get weird. Howie, got any dates?
Tonight, right, we get out of here. We'll be downstairs to Barrel Street Ale House. That place has been packed lately. Great crowds. So yeah, that's great. This episode's coming out tomorrow, but I'll be there in like 30 minutes.
All right. Well, if you got a time machine, go back and watch how we rock. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We love you. We'll talk to you soon. See you at the Patreon, where winners get nasty.